LEGO made 3 sets for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and 2 of them have some pretty sick small details. The stickers in the Spider-Man vs. Hulk set reference 3 things you might not remember. The entire plot of Far From Home, Mysterio was trying to make everyone believe that Spider-Man was evil, and it actually worked. People were so mad at him that someone even threw a brick through Peter's window saying, "We believe Mysterio," and it became the slogan for the entire movement. That covers one sticker, but another one is for Toombs' Salvage, a defunct company owned by Adrian Toombs, or the Vulture. And there's also a sticker for Delmar's Deli in Queens, which we find out is Peter's favorite deli at the end of Homecoming. Stickers are the easiest way for LEGO to make references, and this one in the Prison Transport Chase set is another example. The set comes with a tarantula minifigure, and this sticker references the first comic he ever showed up in, the Amazing Spider-Man 134. Unfortunately, that's it for new Spider-Man sets, but old ones like Beware the Vulture have cool details too, and there are 3 of them on the van alone. It's a known fact that LEGO designers like to hide their initials in the sets they work on. Usually they choose license plates, and this set is no different. When people found out who designed it and checked the van, they found JR for Justin Ramsden, who's made loads of sets for Marvel, but the plate also has AC, and these are initials for Adam Corbally, the graphic designer. Him and Justin built the set together, so they also added something very interesting in the back of the van. There are Department of Damage Control crates back there that have different item codes on them, AS02 and AS46. The DODC organizes everything they collect, so these just look like serial numbers. However, AS02 stands for the Amazing Spider-Man Issue 2, which is the first comic appearance of Adrian Toombs as the Vulture, and AS46 is issue 46, the first appearance of Herman Schultz as the Shocker. Both of these guys are featured in this set, so Justin and Adam made some very well-placed references. The big stud shooter also has its own label, TS39, and clearly this isn't referencing the Amazing Spider-Man. It's for the Tales of Suspense Volume 39, when Iron Man first showed up. But if this is a Spider-Man set, why is it even here? Well, this set is based around the Department of Damage Control, which in the MCU was created after the Avengers battle with the Chitauri. That battle created a lot of damage and left a lot of alien tech laying around that the government didn't want regular people having. So they formed the DODC and teamed up with Tony Stark to make things more efficient. Iron Man is tied into the origin of the thing this set is based on, so the TS39 sticker makes a lot of sense. But the comic references keep going in the Ultimate Bridge battle set. The bridge has a tile that's made to look like the year it was built, and even if that's true, it's referencing Amazing Fantasy number 15, the first issue Spider-Man was ever seen in, released in 1962. LEGO also hid this year on the hot dog card in the Hulk set from earlier, so it's pretty common to see. However, there's a deeper reference on top of the bridge. There's a mini brick-built nest with a couple of eggs, and I don't know who else this would be for besides the Vulture. The set only has 1,092 pieces in total, so this isn't just a random detail to fill space. It's very easy for LEGO to slip in stuff like this, and there's an even sneakier detail in the Ghost Rider team-up set. The corner of the street has a newspaper box for the Daily Bugle and the Front Line. The Daily Bugle is slandering Spider-Man as usual, but the Front Line has a story about the Vulture praying over the city, and there are layers to this reference. Front Line is owned by Benjamin Urich, who used to work for the Daily Bugle. He was one of their best reporters and had an unstoppable pursuit for justice. He was actually able to uncover both Daredevil as Matt Murdock and Spider-Man as Peter Parker, but decided not to report on either of them because he knew they were good people. He's played a much bigger role than you might realize, but a set with way too many details is the attack on the Spider Lair. The computer setup alone has a ton, but the suit selection screen has this weird square-shaped suit, and there's a lot of lore to it. This is actually the bombastic Bagman, and it's not a spider suit at all. It comes from the Amazing Spider-Man number 258. In this issue, Reed Richards figured out that Peter's suit was a living symbiote, so he took it off and left him in his underwear. To cover up, Peter put on a spare Fantastic Four suit, a bag over his head, and a "Kick Me" sign courtesy of Johnny. This eventually led to the symbiote meeting Eddie Brock and creating Venom. So even though it's a big joke, the bombastic Bagman is a lot more important than it looks. But this set also makes a very specific reference to the movies. Did you ever notice how Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the only one that skates? This isn't a mistake, and the only reason it happened is because Andrew Garfield himself pitched it to Mark Webb, and he actually accepted the idea. He's probably the only one that'll ever do it. And to reference this insane fact, LEGO put a skateboard and a ramp in a set for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. This set was released in 2021, and this minifigure is unmistakably based on Tom's homemade suit. So the whole thing is just one big Andrew Garfield reference. But there's also a very weird LEGO detail in this set. Part of it has a few suits on display, and the homemade suit is one of them. But the mask is lifted up, so LEGO made it with a transparent headpiece. This makes for a very cursed Spider-Man minifigure that could have been completely avoided. But there's something even weirder in the Daily Bugle set. It has the most details in any Spider-Man set, but LEGO themselves said that all 25 minifigures have been in at least one Marvel comic, which seems normal until you see Bernie the cab driver. This is literally the most random minifigure ever, especially because of his name, but it's 100% accurate. Bernie's first and last appearance was in The Incredible Hulk number 221, where literally all he did was drive a cab. LEGO picked from 60 different minifigs before narrowing down to 25, and they kept Bernie simply for the memes. But the thing is, he's not even the only meme in this set. One of the floors has an elevator and a very familiar looking office if you know your Spider-Man memes. It's none other than the famous desk meme in the original cartoon from the 60s. The more famous one is the pointing meme, which LEGO also recreated in a different set. So clearly they love their Spider-Man memes, and the jokes keep going in the Bugle. There's this giant web piece outside that's covering what looks like a Fortnite back bling, but it's actually supposed to be Peter's backpack, and it solves the biggest mystery in every Spider-Man ever. Sometimes it seems like Peter has his suit in his back pocket. One second he's Peter Parker, and the next he's Spider-Man. So this backpack represents where he keeps the suit when he's not wearing it at work, and how he's able to get it on so fast. It's one of the only hidden objects in LEGO Spider-Man, but there's another one in the final battle set. It's based on the big fight at the end of No Way Home, and one of the most famous scenes is when Sandman gets lured inside, so all three Peters can jump him and give him the cure. So when LEGO made their set, they put Sandman's hand inside the Statue of Liberty's head, which is a great way to reference that scene. But flip that statue around, and the back has a portal. Ned's portal to the Sanctum Sanctorum. It even matches LEGO's version of it. Technically, it isn't accurate to the movie, but he did summon a portal for him and MJ to join the fight, which is why their minifigures are in this set. So it's not a complete lie, but I'm pretty sure this next detail is. The Peter Parker's apartment set is small and absolutely packed with references, and his computer has a very weird one. It's showing a newspaper story about Venom being spotted, but he looks a little funny, don't you think? It's not confirmed, but a lot of people believe that LEGO was referencing the most famous Bigfoot sighting in history. The original video was filmed by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin in 1967, who were trying to prove that Bigfoot was real. It's by far the most famous quote-unquote sighting ever because nobody knows if it's actually real, and for some reason, this singular frame has transcended time and even outlived the guys that filmed it. It looks pretty similar to Venom in that newspaper, but I'm not sure if I'm buying this reference. Regardless, Peter's room has way more going on, including a hidden drawing. Since he lives in New York City, he has a Murphy bed to save space, and there's a sketch of the Iron Spider suit underneath it. He'd be completely cooked if Aunt May saw this before she found out he was Spider-Man, so he definitely needed a hiding place for it. He also has a bunch of posters on the wall, but the Oscorp one actually matches the tower from a different set. The designers were working on both of these at the same time, and all three buildings in this one can be separated. so they took it as a chance to reference their own work, like the portal in the final battle set. A lot of these sets LEGO makes for Spider-Man aren't based on canon, and this Oscorp set is no different. It comes with 8 minifigures that have never seen each other in the movies or comics, but Miles and Gwen are here, and this set does pay homage to a very famous scene with them. Unfortunately, it's not the one where they're hanging upside down. It's the one where Miles is chilling in his room and Gwen drops down from his ceiling out of nowhere. In the LEGO set, there's a lever you can twist to reveal a trap door in the ceiling, which you can use to recreate the scene. But I bet you wouldn't expect to see Easter eggs in the Amazing Spider-Man art set. It's not a traditional LEGO set at all, so where would they hide them? Well, do you notice the black spiders all over the artwork? There are 15 of them in total, and this isn't an accident. It's referencing Amazing Fantasy number 15, which we already know is when Spider-Man first showed up. There's no 1962 on this set, but the art style is actually a reference too. The background is made with a bunch of circles called Ben-Day dots. The style was made popular by Benjamin Henry Day Jr., and these days, it's the easiest way to recognize old artwork. It was the best way to print back in the day, and they always used it for comics, so it's very fitting for this set. But even Spider-Man's pose is referencing something. This one was made famous by John Romita Sr. in The Amazing Spider-Man number 67, and it's pretty much identical to the LEGO set. It's literally hiding in plain sight, but so is Spider-Man 2099 in the Spider Crawler set. This one came out back in 2018 when he was only in a post-credit scene, and it's another set that isn't canon at all. People who read the comics freaked out when they saw this minifigure because it's the first one LEGO ever made of him. And when he started getting more popular from across the Spider-Verse, people didn't even realize he already existed in LEGO. After the success of Across the Spider-Verse, LEGO decided to make the collectible minifigure series with the most popular characters, and naturally, Miguel is one of them. But his accessory is what really stands out. LEGO gave him a nano figure of Lila, his AI assistant. She's pretty much essential to his character, and was pretty popular in Across the Spider-Verse. But someone even more popular was Mayday. The version of Peter Parker in this franchise is super unk, so he and Mary Jane are divorced, and Mayday is their kid. His backstory is low-key really sad, but Mayday is hilarious. She actually inherited Peter's powers and eventually becomes Spider-Girl in the comics. But since she's still young, she wears a Spider-Man beanie, and LEGO's version of this is so funny. I never thought I'd see a baby minifigure with Spider-Man printing, but I guess anything is possible. However, I want to go back to Miguel's first set for a second. Sandman is also here, and the really cool piece he's sitting on wasn't made for him. It literally looks tailor-made for him, but it was actually made for Nexo Knights way back in 2017. The original one was purple and blue and was made for Rogel, but it only got used once, and LEGO's used this tan one for Sandman way more, so they definitely got some use out of it. But which of these details surprised you the most? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.